So basically here today, what is the day? Today's I don't even know what day it is. The number of the days. It's 9/6. Our fifth day. Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, our fifth day of class. Day 5. I should be numbering Dave by days. Then if I do this online, it's not tied to a specific date of the year. Okay, so adding to our HTML knowledge. But first now, let's go ahead and pull up this website that you provided
I don't know
here.
if it's good.
First we'll just look at the HTML. Just like we did in that one assignment. Let's open the HTML, and then we'll see what should this look like, and then we'll browse to it. So I'm going to file open using my notepad editor. And I'm not sure I want to look at VS Code yet, but if you're using VS Code, that's fine. Are you using VS Code for?
I am, and I found it pretty helpful.
Yeah, isn't it nice? The autocompletes are nice.
Yeah.
But I kind of force myself to use it because I want to help me remember all those tags and editing. And some coders, I don't know how adamant they are about only using VS text editor.
I think it's
That guy, official.
I think it's website.
Website project. And since I'm in Notepad, it's going to treat it as text, even though if I double clicked on it in the browser, it would open it with a browser.
File and website project right there up top. The first one, or the last file right there.
Yeah, the one I'm on right here.
The folder, sorry.
Oh, the folder. Oh, that guy.
Yeah, it's in
Oh, that's right, because you have a subfolder for photos. Good. Okay, so I already can tell what you have here. So, seeing the structure of your folders, and often what people will do is when they have a website, they'll even have many subfolders of like CSS files or JavaScript. They'll put that in separate folders as we get into JavaScript. But let's open this in Notepad++, and here I can see this is going to show on my tab. You have I think there's an exclamation point missing from doc type. Is it exclamation doc type, I think?
Yeah.
And let me show you a little trick in VS Code. I have it running, I have it on this PC. VS Code, not Visual Studio. Is it Studio Code or is it Code? I thought I had Studio Code. Visual Studio? It wants to, there it is. No, that's the installer. Where's my code? Was that an extra thing? I thought I downloaded Visual Studio Code. Looks to me like I got Visual Studio installed instead. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that. But there's a special set of keystrokes you can do in Visual Studio Code that will give you your template right away with the doc type in front of it all the way to end of HTML. And then you fill it in the rest.
That comment's unfinished.
Okay, so I can see, and one thing I can do here, if the internet is working okay, it looks like it is right now, I can copy all my text of my page, select Control-A and then Control-C copy, and I can go out to the internet and look for HTML validator. Oh man, we got working internet right now. Woo! And I can go to check, and let's see. We'll go back to the validator. There is. Let's go here first. There we go. I can do validate by direct input. I don't have to upload a file. I can just copy paste, and then check it, and let's see what it gives me. It gave me a little error. It's expecting that exclamation point, and it's a yellow error, not a red error. I go edit that and fix it in my code. And I run a check again. And it gives me a few little errors. And I see you're working with some attributes, but it's not. It says, wait a minute, you can't put that in the head yet. So a lot of things that you learn with the validator, kind of just giving you a little pointer. So let's go look at your code. So I see you have the head. The BG color equals blue. I think you have to put that in the actual elements if you want something in the head, like a H1 element. So sometimes some attributes aren't valid for certain things, like, and that's where you just takes practice or
Yeah, that's a
the
mistake
reference.
I forgot to delete.
Yeah.
I forgot that title is just in the tab. I
Right.
always
Yeah.
forget I messed it up.
Yeah. This is something you're expecting to visit. It would be cool if you could actually set the color of your title and say BG color equals blue there.
Yeah.
But that's what's nice about the validator. You can always check and see, even though the browser won't give you an error. Let's see what the browser does, just for fun. I'm gonna have Firefox here. I'll bring it over to this page, and I'm gonna Control O and go now browse over to the file that I'm looking at. I realize I'm still just browsing our USB drive. I should have made a local copy, but I'll go to the project. Now I'll open that from that browser, and it looks decent. And let's see, I'm going to do Control-Shift-I. Remember that lets me debug it. And let's see the console, if the console complains about anything.
Works mode.
I have not seen that before. Not sure what that means. Oh, because it doesn't have the doc type HTML. That tiny little missing exclamation point made a little bit of a complaint by their browser, but notice the browser didn't crash. Other browsers may not even open it. May say, hey, that's bad at the start, I'm not going to open this. The browsers have gotten more and more forgiving, but sometimes that's bad because sometimes you'd rather have it catch your problems than ignore it, and then later you find out, oh man, it's had this error ever since I started writing it. So maybe you can tell it to put it in, and here's some errors and warnings, and these might be like the validator. I guess you can turn them on and off, what to see. There's lots more you could learn in that debugger as we go. So that's something I love. Similar to the validator, first thing I check for, are there horrible effects? The console says, hey, I've got a problem. As I'm starting to work with code and do some things like JavaScript, the debugger is helpful. And there's my wonderful inspector. As I hover over things and I can expand that, it shows me what part of the page this thing is that I'm hovering over. So as I hover over each little piece, it sees, oh, that's the part there. Very helpful when I'm trying to figure out, what is causing this to show. Oh, that's this section right there. And I can expand that and see what's written in there to produce that output. And something else in the debugger is I can actually, as I'm working with things like I see this, over here under Style Editor, oh, no style sheet. That's right. It doesn't show my attributes. As I bring in style sheets, the style editor will show what style got assigned to things based on the CSS. That's a whole nother level of learning. So let's go back and take a look at your website again, and then the code. So centered text. So you've centered everything, and why is that everything centered? Well, look back at your code. You did center everything in the body. So, and remember, wherever that has to be nested around everything. So there should be an ending center. Oh, it looks like it didn't complain. I'll bet you the validator showed a complaint about missing the end of center. Let's see if he sees that at the end. There he goes, unclosed center. That was just something that I was looking for, where your end of center was, and I realized, yeah, it's missing that. And see, the browser said, okay, I'll center everything until I see end of center. It never saw it. It didn't crash. But it also didn't complain and tell you. That's why validators are really helpful. You want this to be clean before you actually release it to your customer. For now, we're learning our tags. And so you had a little about you, assigning a font type, and we can see that Courier New. Yeah, let's put this on one side and the browse result on the other. There's the one, and there's your page. So that's the Courier New font. And then as we go down, find the homeschool. There's the homeschool dude, where you have an anchor link to, looks like, is that a valid link?
Yeah, that's a valid link. That's my YouTube channel.
Oh, really? So you can put I didn't know you could put ats in the files.
In the YouTube studio you can.
Oh, okay. So you got that link from your YouTube, and to embed this, okay? Target equals blank, so we know that that means if I click on that link, it should open up a new tab. Let's see, there it is, opening up a new tab. And right now, internet is doing great, so that pops up right away. That's pretty nice. So this is your YouTube channel, huh?
Yep.
Ah, pretty cool. 300 subscribers. All right, you're gonna be rich. You're gonna monetize that baby right away. All those homeschoolers flocking.
Yeah.
There is a lot of competition. The people that are making money on YouTube, I'm wondering, there's people that are dreaming of that. How many people dream they're going to make money and are just making pennies?
Yeah.
But here and there, people hit it good. So then that link is done. End of that paragraph. So that will be the end of that line there. All enclosed in a paragraph. And now we have mark. And what's the mark doing?
It's a specific, like what's it called? Emphasized tags.
Okay, I haven't used mark, so that's an interesting one. And you do have it, and that's the nice thing about Notepad++. It does show you your start and end. And so that gave you the H3 gives you the large text. The mark gave it.
Kind of emboldened, I think.
Oh yeah, okay, because I thought H3. It's hard to know. I guess I'd have to play with it, turn it on and off to see what the effect of that is. And now you went with a color red. Oh, this is something we want to learn about today. Is you can actually tell it what style to give it, what font family, and you can actually put this in one style statement. I'll show you how to do that. But yeah, learning style. This is the start of a huge part of Pages. Is people got tired of putting it all in here, and they just want to say every paragraph I had make it a particular style. That's where style sheets come in, where you don't have to keep putting it in line. This is what we call inline style. Right there in our HTML, we're saying the style of this particular element has these attributes. And one thing as I'm thinking about style, when it's in line, that takes precedence over anything else in style sheets. This is, I really want this to be a particular style, no matter what I've configured anywhere else. This takes precedent over anything else. And if there's other styles applied, like I apply a particular style to everything that's a P element, if it's there, only the color will be replaced and the font family will be replaced here. Everything else might be specified somewhere else in a more general style sheet. So that's that paragraph, family and I. There, that's the end of that sentence. Now we have an image, and what's going wrong with this?
It's since it's on a thumb drive, it's in a different source location.
Yeah, and so the safer thing to do with the source is to do this. Say the source equals photos, and you don't need to specify the actual specific file location.
Oh.
This is what we call relative file location. So now your page is more portable. Let me just save that and show what happens. I'll go ahead and save this. Actually, let me make a copy so I don't mess up yours on your USB drive.
You can go for that.
Okay, that's right, you have your copy there. So I'm going to save this and then refresh, and then I think the photo should come up. Let's see what happens. I just saved it. Now let's refresh by clicking this, and now you have your photo. So this is a better way to bring in images. Then you don't depend upon an exact path. It's relative to where this page is. Same thing with this one. Instead of having to say a specific path, you say it's below here in my relative. And if the photos folder is missing, then you'll have an empty image. And I don't think you want the leading slash. Let's see. Let's just for fun. Let's save this and let's put a leading slash. I don't know if the leading slash makes a difference. Let's save it and find out. Okay, yeah, the leading slash means, go back to the top of the system. This says, find the photos folder beneath where this index page is. Beneath where this page is. Now I've saved that, refresh. Now I have that, and that photo page is showing up. Very nice. So having fun with this, and just as you look, you see you've specified the width and height. So this means the height of my image is going to be 40% of the height of the, I don't know if it's the total page.
Size.
Yeah, the original size, not the height of the page.
Yeah, here. If you hit
Yeah, that's right.
full screen, because it looked better on my computer.
If I go full screen with this,
Yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah, there we go. It fixed it.
And this came out nicer too, because you set the width to be a specific percentage.
Oh, of the window?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
what that means.
I thought it was of the original size in the photo, but that makes a lot of sense. Is there a way to fix that?
One way to fix it, if you want to keep the aspect ratio, what you do, say that with this hockey image, I just specify one or the other. So say height 40% and not specify width. Then it'll keep the aspect ratio because you've only said, hey, make the height 40%. If I did the same thing back here and said, make the width 25% and not specify the height, then if I save it and refresh, it'll be smaller, but again, preserve the aspect ratio.
Okay.
So if you don't want it to get distorted, you specify one or other, the width or the height, and it automatically scales, preserves your aspect ratio on the other.
Okay.
You can even specify exact width. You could say the exact width is 200 pixels. And then it's 200 pixels no matter, yeah, I can still zoom on it, but it's 200 pixels. And if I decide to narrow my page, let's see if I narrow the page. If I narrow it, pick it out of auto size here. If I narrow it, let's see what happens to the picture.
Same size.
It'll stay the same size, whereas it's 25%, it will shrink as I shrink the width of my page. And let's make sure I'm not lying to you here.
Starting to make a lot more sense.
Yeah, and this is where just playing with it, you learn a ton.
Yeah.
So there's 200. Now let's make that again. Let's go back to, let's say 50%. 50%. And I think that means 50% of the page. Let's find out. And now as I widen it, see how it gets larger.
Okay.
So typically you want relative size, not absolute size. But again, that's your choice. Depending on what you're actually doing in your website, you may want because of particular zoom or something that I need it to be a specific size. With mobile devices, especially as you're twisting it horizontal or vertical, you usually want it to be percentage of width, not a specific width. And you'll see some size that you'll see pages that they come out so ugly if you zoom in, because some things are set to be percentage and others are set to be absolute, and it just gets really goofy looking. So here you have, let's go back now, you have color orange here now on your paragraph. Again, practicing your styling, I like that. And there's your color orange. Now another thing you can do with the color, you can actually specify either known colors or specify, see if I get this right. I think I have to put
The
pound
hex
sign.
codes, right?
Yeah, let's try. I think I can do all, let's see, it's RGB. Let's make it all red. I think I can do FF0000. And let's see if I need, I don't remember if I need a semicolon. Let's save that and see if it comes out. There you go, red. So if I say, if I know a specific number that goes with the color, and typically it's in hex, I don't know if, I think it's only in hex. Let's say red GB, R and B together, full red, full blue, and I like lowercase, but you can do caps too. That should give me what? A purple. So R and B, 0 on the G, and if I make all ones or all F's, what am I going to get? I'm going to get white font. It's there, but it's in white. So all F's is white, all zeros is black. And if you know the actual name of the color, you can put the name like orange. If you misspell, let's see what happens. So there's orange. Let's see if I misspell it, what happens. I'm guessing it will go to default black. Let's see. Yeah. If it doesn't know the color, treats it as a 0. Give it a color that it knows, and it will come out that color.
Okay.
And remember with colors, depending on whether you're on a projector, it used to be projectors were a lot worse, that the projector color was horrible. It would look better on the screens. It looks pretty much the same, but with a white background, that feels more like a mustard yellow orange than an orange.
A full yellow was really hard to see.
Yeah. Oh, and man, there's pages out there that really mess with colors and make it look horrible. So here again, we'll go ahead and fix this image, make it a relative image rather than hard path. save and refresh, and now we have that image showing up. At a 40% height and preserving the aspect ratio because we didn't specify a particular width.
I guess I figured it out there.
Yeah. So good job playing with it, and I find as you do something that's kind of fun, you just learn better if you're having fun. So have fun with it, do some fun things, find some images, and then as you play with styles and things. Now here's an interesting thing that you could have actually put in the FFs, but yes, there is an RGB function that you specify the red, the green, and the blue part of it. And just while we're here, let's just take a look at what you can learn about RGB color table. Let's see if they give us decent charts. Here's a looks like a little, you can play. Is this something you can play with? Looks like you can play with the numbers and see what that is. Let's see if I can let me draw that. Look at that. I can explore the reds and see the numbers should be getting smaller as I go darker, lighter as I go higher. Here it looks like if I click on a color, I'll see what that is in hex. Remember, hex is all ones is FF, and F is 1111. 8 is 10000. I'm not going to have you memorize hex, but just recognize that F's is all is the biggest number, 0 is the smallest number, and then it goes alphabetical. And it's, think of 2 digits, that the first digit is the most significant. But notice it's giving you the numbers in decimal as well. So 204 is CC, 255 is FF, 255. So he's giving you both decimal and hex, which is kind of helpful. So a nice friendly chart. You can hover over a color and say, I don't know what that color is. There's a word for that color, but I know the hex value or the RGB. So here you put RGB. Let's see.
I copied and pasted that from a different source.
Okay, let's see if I can put FF there, see if it still works. Maybe he will, I'm guessing he will only take decimal there, but let's find out. Let's go back and refresh. Yep, he didn't like the FF there. See how that went back to black? So 255, he'll only accept, let's see if I put a pound sign in front of that. Sometimes they just like the right format. Let's see if it'll take that. No, how about pound sign? Semicolon. Nope. So he'll only accept a decimal version. So 255, that means full, as bright a red as I can get, or sorry, green, that's G, bright a green as I can get. So gray, the gray is all the same level of red and green and blue, but not full red, green, blue. So if we look at our color table, here's our grays. See, black is all zeros. As I get a little brighter, I'm still, all the colors are the same, so I'm not seeing any one color standing above the other, so that's why it's a lighter shade of gray. As I start emphasizing one color more than the other, where see there's a little more red than the others, that's how it gets pinkish looking. And as I establish more red, a little mixture of blue, I get a purpley red. Way over here, it looks like that's a full red, and red with a little less, or a little more of the other colors, but since it's the same, it doesn't show green or blue more. And as you hover over this, you kind of just get an idea of, how colors are working with us. And if you think of your eyes, how your eyes are actually working. If you zoomed in on your computer screen, what you actually will see is 3 different dots of red, green, and blue, faking your brain into thinking green, because your brain automatically mixes the two in your eyeball, or I don't know, yeah, I think in your eyeball it mixes the two. So you don't know if you're actually seeing a pure green or a green and a blue light at just the right levels to make it look like green, because they're so close together. That's the whole psychology of light is interesting. And animals can see more. Many animals can see more levels of color than we can. Like a TV to a bird or to an insect, the colors that they see are completely different, because they see better out into the ultraviolet. But the thing to look at here is you learned about specifying a color style right here. So you said style equals, and then a color colon and some value. This is the syntax of specifying a style attribute. So you learn I can do RGB, 3 numbers, decimal, or I can do color colon the name of a color, or how I showed you, you can also do color colon pound sign. If I want to do orange, I figure out what orange is. Let's see, orangey. I'll do that orangey. FF8000. FF8000. Semicolon. Save and refresh. And it just got slightly darker than your orange. So to find out what their orange is, I'm not sure how I would know. I'm guessing it's that orange. But you can sometimes even just using that copy paste what you found. There's probably a color table, maybe he has it here. There's a color table showing you what those words mean. There we go. So here's the actual orange. Where's the orange? There he is. There's their orange, and there's the actual value of what is specified there. Now let's see, could I do dark orange? See how it has dark orange? Let's see if I can do dark orange. Or let's try orange red, because I can't hardly tell dark orange from orange there. Let's try orange red. I don't know if you can use the 2-letter names. Either there has to be a, I wonder if it requires an underscore in between them. Let's see if that works. I'm guessing I'm going to get black with that one. Let's see what happens. Yeah, black. Let's try underscore. Let's see if that will replace this space. No. Orange dash. Maybe it doesn't know about orange red. Okay, so it looks like 2-letter names for, or 2-word names for colors may not work. There may be some way of using that. Maybe, oh, I haven't tried no space yet. Let's see if there's no space. Looks kind of like a strange word. Let's see if that'll do it. I doubt it. Oh, look at that, it did work. So remove the space and you'll get the word if you want to use any of these. So let's verify that with, let's try dark red. Maybe it'll work with anyone. Save and refresh. Okay, so remove the space from the name. Maybe they say that up here. Let's see if they mention that. Maybe somewhere in your specifications for style, you learn that remove spaces from this dark olive green. So look at all the named colors. I have memorized maybe 10 of them, but look at all the colors you could learn about. And there's actually tests of your ability to see difference in colors. Like, can you see the difference? If you didn't have this a dividing line between them, could you tell that's a different color? It's amazing how sensitive your eyes are when there's just a slight difference in the color levels. So just by looking at your webpage, we've started to look at what I wanted to start covering today was this whole idea of attributes that you can attach to a specific tag. This particular H1 has this attribute style called color colon and then some way of specifying color. Let's take a look now and see if W3 Schools is there. We can do some exploring there because it's a very helpful web page. Let's go W3 Schools full screen. I'm so happy I'm seeing good internet right now. What you want to do, if you haven't already, is sign up for a W3 Schools account, because with that, then you can sign up for tutorials and it remembers how far you've gotten. So you can always go to the tutorials without anything, but by logging in or signing up, it tracks how far you've made it. And then that lets me see how well you did it. So I'm going to log in. I set it up to just log in with Google since I'm logged in my Google account. It makes it a lot easier than having another password to remember. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead with Chrome. Since I'm logged in with Chrome, this is Firefox. I'll go over to Chrome. I'll bring a Chrome tab over. Then I don't have to be logged into 2 browsers. So here's my Chrome tab. We'll go to W3 Schools again here. And because I'm logged in already in my Gmail in Chrome, when I go here and log in with Gmail, I think it knows who I am right away because it sees my session. So I don't have to worry about logging in again. I'm already viewing my mail. And you can see the various things I've messed with in my learning as well. So I can go to my learning and see the different tutorials that I have played with. And I can then go to, let's go to the HTML. There's HTML5. Let's see what tutorials are available. So I can go to tutorials, search for HTML, but that doesn't become a class. I think if I go to tutorials or my learning, let's go back to my learning, my W3 schools. My learning, I want to, let's see if let's maybe look for HTML here. Let's do all. And notice there's multiple HTML tutorials. That looks like that's the first one. I thought there was another intro. So I can then sign up for any tutorial. Say I'm learning HTML. We're going to be learning CSS eventually. If I want to do the tutorial on that, click on that, and I can continue it. If I want to get the certification part of it, I can get an upgrade. But if I just do continue, I think it automatically puts that in my learning. And if I go back to my W3 schools, I think now CSS should show up as my learning. And there it is, my CSS tutorial. And you're going to get advertisements all the time because you're doing the free version. They've for many years provided really, really helpful stuff, especially the reference material. That's so much of it is free. So let's go back to our tutorial here now. This is better than that PDF I gave you because this is up to date, the current specifications. The PDF is nice when you're offline, but let's take a look at the HTML tutorial. And I'm going to see if I can jump ahead here. I'm going to zoom out here. Let's jump ahead to attributes. And see, they go with that one PDF I gave you, they go into something called ARIA right away, which I'm thinking I don't want to do that yet. I want to go into basic attributes. So let's jump into attributes. And now see how I can view my table contents as I go through. Let's see what attributes are as you've viewed and just by practical working through it. You can see basically that we've learned about it already when we did that anchor. And I love the try it yourself. You can say, okay, what are they doing? Well, okay, I can change my anchor where it takes me, come over here and immediately see what that would do. And if I'm done with the try it, I can just close that page and I'm back to the tutorial and I can do more. We did the source and they explained that the source is where the image is going to come from when I'm using the image tag. So notice this particular attribute is helpful for anything that needs to reference something. Now, image isn't the only thing that you can use source on, but they introduce it with this. The image tag means I'm going to be displaying an image, and just like you had in your example website, let's go back to that in Notepad, where you had image, and then you reference src equals where my image is, using that relative reference to the photos folder and then this name of the file inside my photos folder. src equals. This is the attribute named src, is given the value or assigned the value image URL, image img girl. And let's see what that img girl is. Click try it yourself. There's that img girl image. Now, what I like about this, now with the example, I also see width and height. Let's distort it by giving a height of 100. And when I click run, it will update that page. See how it's distorting the picture? Because I'm specified width and height. If I take away height and just let it assign a particular width, it will keep the proportion. I can delete that, run. Okay, now let's change the height to 50. Run. Kept the proportion. And that's what I love about the try it yourself. Gives you a new page, try it out. Okay, that was just temporary, I'm done. Back to learning more. So they talked about here they mentioned that absolute URL thing. If you know you have the image at a particular website, this is when you want to use this absolute URL. And you can actually, in your own page, you can actually reference a page somewhere else on the internet, as long as your network is working in the web page. Let's go ahead and put this in your source just for fun.
Yeah, I actually, that's the first thing I did.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I pasted like, I used a picture of like a dog.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and so there's your page, so I can just say, just for fun, test image, we'll do P, test, image, I'll call it an external image, or I'll call it an embedded image. I think that's the correct term, where I'm getting it from another website, but showing it here. So I can do image.
This only works if you're connected.
Right, your client, whoever's visiting your page has to be connected to the internet. And I'm assuming if they're getting to your web page, they are. Where here in class, if we're looking at it locally, we're sending you to a web page to try to get that image, and that's when it would break. So let's see, the quotes got in the wrong place there. I better be source equals, no, gotta get my cursor in the right place. Oh, I see, it's wrapping. Notepad is wrapping for me. And then I do the end of my image tag. Make sure I have the quotes in the right place. Source equals, this source is in the wrong place. There we go. Source equals, no, source equals, there we go. Delete the source equals twice. There we go. Source equals quote that URL. And I'm not giving it any width and height. Without giving it a width and a height, let's see what it shows up as. Go back to your page, refresh your page over here in Firefox, and refresh, and test embedded image isn't giving me anything. And why is that? Did I specify it wrong? Let's see what I did wrong. In my notepad,
Yeah, it didn't work for me.
now sometimes I see this happening. Some pages aren't happy to let you embed their stuff, and they will actually block you from embedding. That's what it's feeling like right now, because I did use and here's one way to look at it.
Yeah, I just looked up a picture of like a dog on
Yeah.
Google Images and used that.
Now to see whether they're letting me through, I can copy that link, go to my browser, and just put that link in there. And if I get the picture, then I know it's working. Here I can tell, oh, he was faking me out. Maybe it isn't really there, and it's only available to the Try It Yourself page, because web servers know where you're coming from when you go to visit their page. So this has the feel that even though the Try It Yourself shows me that image, either they were giving an example that is a fake image. Let's see the Try It Yourself. Maybe it was a different. Notice this is a relative address, not the actual image. Now what I can do here, let me right click, copy image address, and let's see what I get with that. And now let's go back to my code, and let's see if that image address is different than what I have here. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste the image address. Oh, it was slightly different. Now, see what it was before. It was images, image girl. Now it's HTML image girl. Now let's see if it works for me. We'll find out whether they're letting external address files embed it. It should, from what I can tell. Where's your page? Here. Now let's do a refresh of. Let's go back to your page and refresh. Where'd your page go? There. And refresh. And now it comes up.
Okay.
Some pages though will not let you embed. And notice I didn't have an end to my paragraph. It didn't complain, but I did mean for that to be above my picture. So lots of things you learn just by doing the Try It Yourself. And do that as you're playing. Say, what if I wanted to have my page show this? Well, if I don't want it to distort it, typically I only choose one of those. If I want a specific size, I might be distorting the picture, because there's no guarantee that that picture is 500 by 600. So my practice is generally only specify one, and I typically specify the height because I don't want my page to get too long. But let's then close my try it yourself. Let's go to the next thing. And then they mention they do put the slash. Notice the slash is going in the other direction. Let's see if that works with us. I think with PCs and with the browser, I don't think it cares which direction the slash goes. Let's try the hockey one. I don't think Windows cares which direction the slash goes. Save and refresh your page. And the hockey one still came up. Let's try now putting the slash like they did in the example, putting it in front of photos with the slash to the right, and save and refresh. Now it's gone. So the leading slash you don't want. They did put it in there. That bothers me. They didn't work for me, but notice they show in their example slash images. Let's see if they have a try it yourself with images. Notice this one did not have a slash in front of it. So I think that might be actual typo in their documentation, that the relative URL, I don't think you want the leading slash. That's what do they say? If it begins with S, it will be relative to the domain. So, and I'm not sure what the domain is when you're viewing a file locally. It may be localhost or something. So I guess if it's on a real server and images is immediately below the main, like mas.edu, then it says go up to the main underneath mas.edu, even though my page is mas.edu/student/cs101 or cs325. This says, oh, go way to the top, no matter where I am in the whole branch of the server. This, for images, means if the image doesn't show up for whatever reason, it'll show this instead. For someone, and for it will also show up for accessibility. Anyone with blindness, if they have the reader, it will read the alternate text. So when you're getting tested that, hey, is it accessible, and for many people, especially government agencies, they have to make it handicap accessible. They have to worry about all that stuff. And there's a tester out there probably viewing all their pages either with their eyes closed, or it may be a blind person, that's their job. What does it look like? Is it navigatable with a reader? More alt. And this is what you did. Adding a style, that whole style attribute, that opens up the whole, so many capabilities. Because right now, this is inline style. I can add it right here. Say whatever shows inside this tag from the P to the /P will have whatever style is specified. And we'll skip the language attribute, but there's a whole chapter on HTML styles. And I think we won't go there for now. I only use the lang attribute because the validator complained about it if I didn't have it in there. I suppose if you're a company that's doing international, depending on what language it is, perhaps you can, what does it do for us? The browser may, all it says is it's meant to assist search engines and browsers. It doesn't explain here how it assists the search engines and browsers. Maybe it says from, visiting from Europe, this is in English. Do you really want to go there? Or maybe attempt to translate in some way. I guess it may depend on what extension someone may have. So so doing your little practice website, you learned a lot about styles. We'll be doing more with that and getting into the style part, and it's not too far ahead. So I think I might jump ahead to this on Monday and learn about all the things you can do with styles. So maybe between now and Monday, explore that some more, and maybe even do a little challenge. Maybe read from styles to CSS to see what this does for us, because it's basically making styles much more convenient and putting in a separate page so the style part is separate from the content part, which is a very popular way to approach programming. You separate out content from the display of the content. All right, we'll stop there. I will upload this recording now that it looks like my YouTube is working, and we'll see you Monday.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good job on that site.